In the early years, it was always just like my dad was drawing, we would draw. When I went to high school, I continued to just draw the entire time. My workbooks, where I was supposed to be writing notes, were just all sketches. So drawing has like just been something that I have done my whole life. I knew that the Microsoft Garage had a lot of really unique and interesting kind of tools and stuff that I was told would be at my disposal. And I met Stacy, and Stacy runs the garage. I threw some ideas at her and she threw some back at me. Here I was given this opportunity to work with a bunch of things that I had never done before. The things that stuck out to me were 3D printing, which is something I hadn't utilized before in my practice. Stacy was quite interested in robotics. And then the third thing was Microsoft's HoloLens.
The amazing thing is taking a fine artist and curating and showing them what's possible with another tool, which is just technology. That to me is just amazing in itself, because he might now look at his work and think about it just a little bit differently. You know, for the garage, it's not only just about what we can do and what we're capable and how we can enable people, but it's also just about where the people take it, because that's the most important part of that.
So a transformation mask is essentially a larger mask that depicts a traditional crest figure that can then mechanically be pulled open with a string and reveal something else inside. So there's that, here's a bird, and then bam, it transforms into something else. And it's very theatrical. So the transformation mask is built on the HoloLens. And so when you put this transformation mask on, it transforms physically, but also the viewer is then allowed to access a world through the HoloLens that is inside the mask.
I think the collaboration is incredibly unique, and it leverages all of the strengths that we have both as a company here at Microsoft and as a team and a collection of artists, designers, programmers, but also as a community in Vancouver. And, you know, connecting with history in a very incredible way, and in fact generating history for people to think about what the future could be like.
Using HoloLens as part of an art piece is pretty cool. Like, of course, there's always the artistic component of a HoloLens experience, but it in itself being part of an art piece is new. And also the communication with the hardware, with the other hardware, not just the HoloLens. The Bluetooth communication between the HoloLens and the Arduino, getting the mask to open and close on command, and synchronizing visual and audio effects between the HoloLens experience and the physical mask is pretty new. I don't know if anything's like that has been done before.
So usually when you have it open, it's Raven, you know, for instance, opening up to a portrait mask, which would be a human face. But in this case, the human face will be that of the viewer, and the viewer will be fitted with the HoloLens. And so you get this like transformation from bird into human, but the human is not, they're like human 2.0. That human is also transforming, that human is also evolving.
Someone gets to go experience something inside that, and they get to have a complete audio-visual experience. The animal sound starts very normal at first, but then it transforms into this kind of cyborg, electronic, kind of weird screeching sound, representing it turning into a cyborg.
Extremely exciting for me from a technical point of view, but it was quite eye-opening when I was talking to Shawn about the form and shape that he wanted to include in that, and the need from a cultural point of view of the types of shapes and forms. So there was a technical challenge there as well to try and match that form and make sure that it's true to tradition.
I think it expanded skill sets we already had, and you got to think about things in a different way when you're considering 3D printing. I think at this point we use pretty much every tool we have in the garage. Great exposure to the garage for myself, and it's something that's been on my bucket list to have a piece that I worked on in the Vancouver Art Gallery. So here we are, check mark.
In the world today, Microsoft today is at, I think, the point of the spear where we are digitally transforming our businesses, the way we work, and how we function in life. And this mask that has its origins, way before anything was ever digital, to be called the transformation mask, and to be here working with Shawn, who brings a part of the past and we bring a part of the future, and together we're transforming art.
I just hope that the viewer has an interesting experience. And I hope that that viewer may look at that experience and then hopefully relate it to a more traditional experience, or even just open up their mind in terms of what experiencing our culture might feel like. I've always been about, like, let's evolve this, find new ways to tell our stories. In order to tell our stories now, we have to compete with television. We have to compete with things like HoloLens. And so instead of competing with it, I'm encompassing it, and I'm using those technologies to tell the stories.